Hey there, welcome to ZX Crochets. My name is Maureen and today's story is about this wonderful crochet mesh daisy cardigan with bell sleeves, and also it's made from 2 panels. So if you're new here, please do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a new tutorial. So this is how it looks when you wear this cardigan. It's really simple to make. As long as you can double crochet and make a chain, then you're good to go. That's all you really need to do. So for more pics, you can check out my Instagram page, which is also at ZX Crochets. So we are getting started. So for this, to make this crochet mesh cardigan, you're going to need a measure. You're going to need a 3mm hook and then yarn. My yarn was really small, so I decided to use 2 strands instead of using 1 strand. But remember, you can use any yarn of your choice and it's recommended hook size. You don't need to mind about that. So first things first, you're going to make this rectangle kind of mesh. It's begun from down, then you come on building it up to the end, and you're gonna be needing 2 of these. So you're gonna be needing 2 of these. For the measurements, you're going to measure from one shoulder to the other shoulder, and then after you add 2 inches, then divide it into a half, and that's the number of chains you're going to make. So let me show you. This is 12 inches. Just one panel is measuring 12 inches wide, but remember I'm 22, my shoulder is like 22 inches, so I added 2 more inches and divided by 2, then yeah, I remained with 12. And then in length, this can really vary according to what you want, but mine is actually 28. It can stretch, so it's 28, and those are around 56 inches. So this is what we have. So I'm going to be showing you how we can make this beautiful crochet mesh rectangle that's going to turn into an amazing cardigan. So to begin, after making your measurements, you're going to make a slip knot. Like after making a slip knot, for my measurements, remember I'm 22 plus 2, that's 24. 24 divided by 2, that's 12 inches. So that's what I did. So if you're like maybe 24, add 2 more inches, that will be 26 divided by 2, and make that like this number of inches and chain up to this number of inches. But for my case, I made a chain of, make a chain of 59 if you're my size. So let's measure how much 59 measures, but you need to know that you're chaining in multiples of 2 plus 1. So we have our 12 inches here, and the next thing we are going to do is you're going to skip this very first chain, skip that chain, skip the second chain too, and go into the third chain with a double crochet. To make a double crochet, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops on your hook. That's how you make your double crochet. After that, make a chain of 1, and you're going to skip the next chain, skip the next chain and go into the following chain with a double crochet. And I'm going to continue doing this up to the end of the chain. Remember, you are chaining in the multiples of 2 plus 1. So make a chain, yarn over, skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop. Let me show you one more time. Skip this chain over here, go into the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's a complete double crochet. After that, chain 1 and repeat the same thing up to the end of the chain. And to finish off row 1, you're going to go into the last stitch, of course after skipping 1 stitch, and you're going to place your last double crochet. So row 1 is completely done. For row 2, I'm going to be showing you how to do that. You're going to make a chain of 2. So chain 2, and after that turn your work, and you're going to skip those 2 chains and place your double crochet on top of that very first stitch. It's immediately before the chain 1 space. So place your double crochet there, make a chain of 1 and skip that chain 1 space and go on top of that double crochet stitch, and that's where you're going to place your next double crochet. So you're going to continue doing this. Chain 1, skip that chain 1 space, go on top of that double crochet stitch, and then place your double crochet there. So if there's anything you do not understand, please you can drop it in the comment section down below, and I'll be so glad to get back to you. So you're going to continue doing this up to the end of row 2. So you can see we are coming to the end of row 2. Place your double crochet, and after that you're going to make a chain 1. And I hope this does not confuse you. When you skip this chain 1 space, there is only 1 stitch left, even though they look like 2 bars, but there's 1 stitch. So go into that stitch and place your double crochet. After that you're going to chain 2 for row 3. You can see this is how our work looks like. So you're going to chain 2 for row 3, then turn your work and repeat row 2. Yeah, for row 3 repeat row 2, and you're going to continue repeating row 2 up to the end. And for my case, I made sure that I come up with 56 rows, which also measure 28 inches. So make it as long as you want. So this is what I have, and from this point to this point, these are 56 rows. So you can see, and up to, like, it is measuring 28 inches and they are 56 rows. So I hope you're having something like this, and if you want your work to be longer, just continue to make more rows. So you're going to need 2 of these, and I already have my 2 panels with me, as you can see. And the next thing we are going to be joining, so fold them into a half, fold this into half, and then fold the other into a half and put it together. It should be in line corresponding. So this is what we have. So I'm going to be joining from this point up to, yeah, that's like the middle, like that's the back part that we are joining, and we want to be joining the front part. So I made a mistake somewhere and I had to just redo this. So I hope that does not confuse you, but what you need to do is please join half of the work. Like the whole back part should be joined. The mistake I made at first was joining just half of the back. So I'll show you how you're going to be joining this. You're going to place your hook. After placing your hook, grab your yarn. We are not going to be using our darning needle, we are going to be using the chain 1 method. No, it's the single crochet method. So attach your yarn, and after attaching your yarn, make sure it's really safe and in place. After that, we begin now serious joining, and to do that, you're going to go into this first bar and you're going to make a chain 1, a single crochet, go into the next single crochet of the other side, single crochet, there is that space right there, go into it with a single crochet, go into that same space on the other side and single crochet. So here there's a chain 2, go into it with a single crochet, go into the same space on the other side with a single crochet. there's this space, go into it with a single crochet and do the same thing on the other side. So we are going to continue repeating this until we come to the bottom part of the cardigan. And please join half of the back, join the whole back, should be joined together. Like fold your work into a half and join the half, and then leave the whole front part unjoined. That's what we are supposed to be doing. So I'm going to repeat this up to the end. Here we are at the end. You're going to make a chain of 1, cut your yarn, pull up your loop. I didn't show you cutting my yarn because if you saw what I used to cut the yarn, you'd laugh. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to be joining the sides and leaving the armholes only. So you can see the whole back part is joined together. Yeah, this is the mistake I had done in the beginning. You can see like I had joined only half, but don't mind about that. So the next thing is you're going to be joining half. Just measure around your arm, I should say the upper arm of course, and leave that space for the armhole, and then the rest of the space, like from the underarm going down, it should be stitched together. So this is what you have. Just identify, leave space for your arm, where your arm is going to be passing. After that we join. I'm going to be showing you how we are going to be joining. So yeah, this is what we have, and let's begin joining. And remember to join, make sure that your work is like the wrong side is on top and the right side is on the inside. So I joined around 14 rows for this. Yeah, I joined 14 rows and the rest of the rows were left unjoined. So I decided to use a darning needle. You can see, just insert your darning needle and stitch your work together, or you can use the method that I used to join the back part. You can also use it here. So it should be looking like this when you're done. So the next thing is you're going to be attaching our beautiful sleeves onto this. I decided to make it just make them on the top instead of just bringing them when they are done. I hope you understand. So make sure that the wrong side is on the inside and the right side is on top. So grab your hook and attach your yarn. After attaching your yarn, make sure it's fastened, safe and in place. So you could simply tie it, like use any method that you normally use. And after that I'm going to make a chain of 2. After making a chain of 2, I'm going to go into that same stitch where I have attached my yarn and make a double crochet. After that double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, and you can see this chain 2 space. I'm going to skip it, and there's that little space over there. I'm going to go into it with a double crochet. After that, chain 1, but the only thing you need to do here is make sure that your work is a little bit looser than you have been crocheting. Yeah, at least for the start, make it loose. So skip those chain 2 space. It's not a space, it's a chain 2, and insert your double crochet, chain 1, skip that chain 2 space. Like there is always that tiny little hole where you can insert your yarn. So that's what we are going to be doing. Chain 1, skip that chain 2, and go into that little space and insert your double crochet. So I'm going to be doing this all around the work, and I'll meet you at this point. After chaining 1, you have no more stitches to work into, so you're going to count 2 and go into that 3rd stitch. You can count 1, 2 and that 3rd stitch. Remember, it's the double crochet stitch. So on top of that double crochet stitch, place your slip stitch. Yes, So after placing your slip stitch, you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. So for round 1 is done. So round 2, you're going to chain 2 and turn your work. You can see this is how you turn your work. Please do not forget to turn your work because it's really important. So for round 2, you're going to yarn over and you're going to go into that very first stitch. It's just right there immediately before the chain 1 space. So go into that stitch with a double crochet. After that chain 1, skip that chain 1 space and go on top of the other double crochet with a double crochet. So you know the drill. Continue doing that until round 2 is done. So this is what you have. You're going to be placing your last double crochet. Remember this is round 2 and no increase, no decrease. So from round 1 to round 5, no increase, no decrease. So slip stitch your work. I showed you how to slip stitch your work. It must be on top of the the first double crochet. So for round 3, chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to repeat row 2 until you come up with 5 rows of no increase and no decrease. So as I have told you, for row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no increase, and you're going to be simply repeating row 2. So this is my 5th row and I'm ending it off with a slip stitch. Remember, we slip stitch on top of the first double crochet that we made for that row. So this is what we have. These are 5 rows of no increase, no decrease. So row 6 is where the magic starts. You're going to chain 2 and then turn your work. As you can see, I have turned my work now. We are going to begin increasing. So we are going to be increasing into the 6th stitch, but we are only counting the double crochet stitches and we are not counting the chain 1 stitches. So place your first double crochet the normal way we have been doing. Chain 1, place your second double crochet, chain 1, place your third double crochet into the third, of course, double crochet. So continue doing that, and then that's the 4th, the 5th double crochet, and now the 6th double crochet comes here. So after that, as I've told you, we are increasing into the 6th double crochet. There are 6 double crochets now, so you're going to make a V-stitch, which is chain 1 and yarn over, and we are going to go into that very same stitch with a double crochet. So that's how we make our increase. It's more like a V-stitch. So that's an increase. After that, you're going to chain 1 and continue counting. That's the first double crochet. So for this tutorial, I decided to make it a little bit simpler. As you can see, like row 6, we are increasing into the 6th double crochet, the 6th stitch I should say, and row 7 no increase. Row 8 you increase into the 8th stitch. Row 9 no increase. Row 10 increase into the 10th stitch. So it's gonna be that simple. So here we are. These are 6, chain 1, place another double crochet. That's how we make our increase. After that, continue. You can again count up to 6 stitches. Remember, we are only counting the double crochets and we are not counting the chain 1 spaces. So this is another part that really confuses people during this bell sleeve thing. So you can see I have increased, and after placing my increase, when we count, we are coming up with only 5 stitches and we don't have 6 stitches left. What do? You don't increase anywhere, you don't decrease anywhere, you just continue and slip stitch your work. The work will still come out perfectly, because if I'm saying we are increasing into the 6th stitch and you, after your last increase, you don't have any more 6 stitches, then do not increase into the 5th. You follow the pattern. So round 6 is done. For round 7, you're going to make a chain of 2, turn your work, and after turning your work, you're going to just go all around with no increase, no decrease. So place your stitches the same way we've been placing our stitches, double crochets of course. Go all around with no increase. So coming to the end of row 7, here we are, slip stitch your work. Remember, you go onto that stitch which is on top of the double crochet and slip stitch your work. So for row 8, you're going to make a chain of 2, and then after that you're going to turn your work. As you can see, when we are increasing, it's like we are working from the inside, so do not forget that. So for row 8, you're going to be increasing into the 8th stitch. So it's going to be that simple. Row 8, increase into the 8th stitch. Row 9, no increase. Row 10, increase into the 10th. Row 11, no increase. Row 12, increase into the 12th. Row 13, no increase. Row 15, what am I saying? Row 14, increase into the 14th. Row 15, no increase. Row 16, increase into the 16th, and you're going to follow that pattern until you have 35 rows. So here we are, and of course we need to increase. This is our 8th stitch, so place your 2 double crochet, a V stitch. I think it's a V stitch. So after that you're gonna count up to 8. You can see, place your stitch marker into the 8th stitch. I really recommend this, because if you don't place your stitch marker, you're going to be counting like until the work is done, and that's really huge. So whenever you place your stitch marker, it's like you relieve yourself from counting a little bit until you again reach where the stitch marker is placed. So continue up to that point. And remember, I continued this until I came up with 35 rows, and of course I was increasing in each and every, the 6th, the 8th, the 10th, the 12th, the 14th, the 16th, the 18th, the 20th, 22nd, 24th, 24th, 26th, 28th, 30th, 31st, sorry, no, not 31st, 32nd, 34th. I was increasing. So just follow that pattern, and I'll meet you at the end of row 8. Here we are finishing off our row 8. You can see I made an increase, then I was left with 1 stitch to work into, and after that you can slip stitch your work. After that, make a chain of 2 for row 9. I feel like I've talked too much. So row 9, you're going to no increase, just do the normal thing we've been doing, no increase. And if there's anything you don't understand, please just drop it in the comment section down below. I'll be so glad to get back to you. So row 9, no increase, just go all around. So row 9 is done, and the next thing you're going to slip stitch of course, and then row 10 you're going to chain 2, turn your work, you know the drill. We are going to be increasing into the 10th stitch. So I think I've done enough of explaining, and if there's anything you don't understand, feel free to drop it in the comment section down below. I'll be so glad to get back to you. So this is what we have, and I'm going to continue doing this, repeating row 6 and row 7 until I come up with 35 rows for myself. If you want yours bigger, you can make more. You can see for row 10, make sure you increase into the 10th, and then after that again count 10 double crochets, increase into the 10th again. Just continue doing that. And if you want your sleeves to be a little wider than mine, you can make more rows, or you can simply increase more, I should say. So this is what I have, and my sleeve is done. So you can see how it looks like. I really like it, and I'm going to be repeating that same procedure onto this side too. But first I'm gonna measure for you, and you see how much it measures. And just to make it clear, like from this point where we started from to this point here, those are 35 rows, and they're enough for me, and they are measuring around 15 inches. Remember, they can't stretch to around 18, but they are measuring around 15 inches unstretched, 15 inches wide at the bottom, and they are measuring, let's see how many inches. They are measuring 18 inches long. Yeah, 18 inches long. So how long you want yours to be totally depends on you. So this in length I have around 21, but it can go up to around 22, but remember I measured around 24 in the beginning, which is okay for me. And when you measure the length of our folded panels, they are around 14 inches, but remember it was 18 unfolded, so that's also okay for me. So I'm going to repeat this sleeve side onto this side too. So that's one sleeve done. I took huge breaks when I was making this. So one sleeve is done, and also the other sleeve is done. They really feel great. So yeah, and they look great too. So the next thing is the daisy part. So we are going to be placing our daisies. My little sister calls them flowers. So we are going to be placing our flowers. I made super big ones for the big sleeves, of course, and also a little bit medium size, but they are really simple to make. I'm going to be dropping a link to a tutorial that leads to how to make these beautiful crochet daisies. I feel like she explained it a lot more better than I could. So you can see you can make any in any color size that you want, but for the big ones I was using chunky yarn, and I was using 2 strands. You can see 2 strands, and I was using an 8mm hook. It's a Tunisian hook because I don't have it in a crochet hook. So 8mm and double strand of chunky yarn to come up with a chunky flower like this one. So if you want your daisies to be smaller than this, please feel free to make yours smaller with smaller yarn, smaller hook, anything that you really like. And this is how you attach your daisies onto your work. It's really simple to make, but please watch out for my butterfly version. Like, it's going to be a little bit chunky butterflies, but same cardigan. I hope you like it. So here we are. After like pulling them down, you can simply tie your work. Please check out the video in the comment section down below, and also it's gonna be in the description box, the link on how to make these beautiful crochet daisies. She really explained it better than I could. That's why I decided not to repeat the same thing again. So after that, this is what you are supposed to be having. And if you like this video, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss out on anything that I upload. And of course, I only upload crochet tutorials. So if there's anything else you want to see, also drop it in the comment section down below. And also follow me on my Instagram, ZXCrochet. So thank you for watching, and happy crocheting.